This is the Mazz and Bads Show with Brandon Marrazzo and Charlie Baduini.
Sorry, I'm trying to come up with something to say to start this episode.
That should have been it right there.
Yeah.
That should have been it. Nah, you're good.
That's all right. It's the Peyton Manning episode of the Mazz and Bads Show, episode 18. Week 9 of the NFL season on deck. Week 8 just wrapped up. Basketball is getting into full swing. World Series Game 4 was last night.
The Yankees have life.
NHL is also picking up. I don't know if the Yankees have life. Maybe they have life support.
They're on life support. Yeah.
But
I thought the plug was being pulled, but it clearly didn't happen. And you know why? One man and one man only. Somebody showed up to play last night, and it sparked something in the squad. And who would have thought it was probably the youngest guy in the starting lineup, right? The New Jersey native himself, Anthony Volpe, had a performance to remember. We're talking grand slam. We're talking stolen bases, knocking balls out of the glove. We're talking about just making contact and making good defensive plays. And finally, these bums look like they can do something.
yeah, I mean, it's still 3-1, still a really tough hole to dig out of, but like you said, there is a chance. There's a very, very small chance. So go ahead.
You know what made me believe?
Huh.
Aaron Judge finally got a damn hit. He finally got to base without getting hit by pitch or being like he finally got a hit. And there's a part in my heart that is a little ignorant that believes that he could crack a big home run in a giant situation that could completely change the momentum of this series. Now, here's my problem. It was a bullpen game. Are they going to be able to do this against legitimate caliber starter pitchers? I have not a damn clue. But you know what? I need to believe. Would I put any money on it? Absolutely freaking not. But however, we live to fight another day.
So let me ask you this. You watched the game last night, right?
Yeah, sadly. Well, I'm sorry. I've been watching the every game, sadly. Last night, awesome to watch.
Yeah, so I think it was the second inning where there was the fan interference on the Mookie Betts attempted catch. So
Yep.
that was a double for the Yankees, right?
Pretty sure.
Isn't that so crazy how a Yankee fan was able to make that happen? And and there was no penalty assessed to the Yankees?
I can't even tell you.
Because Mookie Betts, he caught that ball.
I'm aware. I have no clue what we're doing. I believe that they didn't want this to be a sweep. I'm fully aware that I think that the league has their own agenda and everything, and I'm just gonna be honest with you. Shenanigans happened. I have no excuse for it. I got nothing. I literally have nothing.
That's what my pops was saying last time. He said there's too much money in this thing for it to only go 4 games.
Just being honest with you, I mean, we look embarrassing, right? I've learned, if there's only one thing that I've absolutely learned from this series, right? 2 things, sorry. Payrolls matter, all right? And the bigger you spend, the better off you're probably going to be if you spend it in the right spots. So, thanks Hal for always complaining about trying to cap it off, and you don't need to spend X amount of dollars to win a World Series. Apparently you do, all right? We're probably going to lose Soto if we lose this, let's be honest. Do you know that the Dodgers are in on him?
No.
I swear to God I saw that.
There's no way.
What's going to stop him?
I guess nothing, but I don't no way they go from I mean, I guess the Ohtani contract is quite malleable.
Did you ever think Kevin Durant would go to the Warriors?
I guess not.
I'll tell you right that. If Soto goes to the Mets, I'll be a little annoyed. He goes to the Dodgers, dead to me. Don't even want to talk about it. Weakest move I've ever seen in my life. That's weaker than Kevin Durant, because at least Kevin Durant didn't do it in the world the NBA Finals
when they won a championship. Yeah,
I was gonna say not in the championship, but he did do it in the Western Conference Finals. So there is kind of something, but nonetheless, you do that from the World Series and you go there, buddy. Come on, you can't do me like that. But the one thing that I did learn, Charlito, Aaron Boone is not the manager. Even if they come back I still have no trust.
No way they
All
fire.
right.
If they didn't fire him after the last few seasons, there's no way they fire him after a World
Dude,
Series appearance.
The way that they fired Girardi after having success with the quote unquote baby bombers that was supposed to go absolutely nowhere and then have a decent a deep playoff run, and then they sent them packing. I'm sorry. I've seen moment after moment, whether it's Staten being sent on third from third base, where like that throw obviously was gonna get there. He can't even run, for crying out loud. It's all upper body with him. Everything about him is upper body strength. He's so slow, and that throw was literally pinpoint perfect, right? Now, obviously, Boone didn't send him, but the manager on third did, right? The third base coach did.
You know who that third base coach is?
Who?
Luis Rojas, former Mets manager for a few weeks.
The fix is in.
Inside job.
It's an inside job. That's it. He's still with the Mets. He's just a fall guy. That's it. No, but legitimately, he sends them. I understand you want to be aggressive, but it's like, dude, it wasn't 2 outs at that point. I'm pretty sure it was 1 out, and they sent them. Absolutely ridiculous. You bring in Nestor Cortez, who hasn't pitched in a month, and one of the biggest moments in Game 1, all right, we'll pitch to Ohtani, but we're not going to pitch to Mookie Betts. Everything is not making sense. I mean, I swear, I don't even believe Jose Trevino should have came in and hit for Austin Wells with bases loaded. I'm sorry, you're telling me there was no other guy that you could have trusted to come in and hit that ball better than what Jose Trevino, who's a great defensive catcher, not a great hitter, would have been better capable of? You could have went to Oswaldo. I would have loved to even seen Oswaldo come up for the damn hit, and then Trevino obviously has to play defense, and then you just make the sub. And everybody's saying, oh, well, you have to assume for the next inning. Bro, you're trying to end it right there. What are you talking about, living to play for the next inning? We're not going to pitch Garrett Cole because there might be a chance at coming to a Game 5. You're literally fighting for your life right now. You got to put everything on the table. And I'm sorry, if you need to put an extra ice pack because it's going to hurt a little more, I'm sorry. Get it done because the best have to be out there. You want to know why I know that? Because Shohei Ohtani is rounding bases, holding his shoulder from being dislocated. All right? That's what Warriors do. We need to be Warriors. We need to be better. And somebody needs, and I'll give it to them. Last night was awesome. But they need to carry that momentum. And for the love of God, somebody needs to manage these situations better. I don't know what he's going to. Is it the analytic guys? If so, somebody go drain the battery on their damn iPads because they don't know what the hell they're doing half the time either. All right? It's taken them 4 games to figure the Dodgers out. And every one of those games has been close as hell, right up until like the very last moment where some big hit ends up coming from the Dodgers. And it's literally just, it's not like the Yankees haven't had chances. They've literally blown 3/4 of the chances that they've been given.
Yeah, also, I want to correct myself. I said Luis Rojas was the Mets manager for a few weeks. I meant to say 2 seasons. He was the manager for 2 seasons. But, yeah, seems like Mazz is going to be he's going to be seeing Freddie Freeman in his sleep the next few nights, especially if the Yankees can't extend this series.
If one more Yankee... You want to know why the Dodgers, I believe, are having success?
Why?
Somebody keeps on telling me about, working counts, which is great, sure. They keep on jumping on first pitches that are down Broadway. All right? If they see it in the zone, they jump on it. Look at Freddie Freeman. They try going up and inside on him every time. He's locked in on it. It's a home run every damn time. And it might be, like, a couple of times, it's been like the first pitch where he's just absolutely jumping on it. If I see one more Yankee take a pitch down the center on the first pitch, I'm going to lose my mind. If it's in the zone, put it in play, baby. What are we doing? Oh, work the count. How can we work the count when nobody can even freaking get on base? All right? You might as well put it into play because if you go down, not even swinging, do you know how embarrassing that is? And apparently the kryptonite is an away slider for everybody, especially Judge.
Sorry, Mazz. It's It's getting late. To quote the late great Yogi Berra, it's getting late early for the Yankees.
It ain't over till it's over, though. You
Sure.
want to go? We could go Yogiisms all day, all right? But it ain't over till it's over.
I'm about to look up if 3-0 comeback has ever happened in the
Yeah,
World Series.
you know when it happened? Early 2000s. The Red Sox did it to the Yankees. Thanks,
Well,
Big Poppy.
In the World Series, that was what, the ALCS, LDS.
Yeah, I don't know if it's ever happened. Yeah, didn't the Cubs do it against?
That was 3-1. 3-1.
That was 3-1.
Because 3-1's a lot different than 3-0 because
Yeah.
you pick up a game earlier and you kind of come back home.
I don't know if it's ever been done. You got anything for me?
Check in now. 24 teams prior to 2024 went up 3 games to none, and 21 of them completed the sweep in Game 4. 3 of them, and the other 3 lost in 5.
Nice.
So
They lost in 5.
So I mean,
Wow.
the math for the Yankees says their season will end. What would that be? Thursday night in Thursday night in Los Angeles. But you never know. You never know. So, Mazz, I know you didn't get to watch too much football Sunday afternoon, so I can try and help fill you in a little bit.
Yeah, I wish I watched football because apparently I just wasted my damn time.
Well, there wasn't a lot of good games. There were some okay ones, but we'll start Thursday night in Los Angeles against the Rams and Minnesota Vikings. Rams picked up a 10-point win against a 5-1 Vikings team that I think a lot of people figured that they were going to be able to walk in here coming off a loss to Detroit and handle business, but Cooper Kupp's back. Puka Nacua, who first things first, so like Cooper Kupp had been talked about like ramping up in practice these last few weeks. Oh, he's going to be back this game. Puka Nacua just came out of nowhere and was like, oh hey, by the way, we're activating Nacua tonight and he's playing. And then he goes and has a monster performance. He was getting fed the ball, and the Rams' offense looked like how it had been the last few years, and not how it had been these last 5 weeks where they were struggling. But little bit of controversy at the end of the game there. Sam Darnold had his face mask pulled in the end zone. No sky judge came down and said, hey, take a look at that again, or hey, throw the flag here. They just let the game end, and that was that. Mazz, I don't know if you saw that one, but it was a little controversial.
I saw a little controversial. The ref came out and said I didn't see it when there's pictures of him having a blatant line of vision to this. I'm sorry. You didn't see it? If you didn't see it, my brother, you need glasses. You need LASIK eye surgery. You need something. 3D goggles. I don't know what it is. But if you can't see that, either you're lying to us, which I believe you are, or you are inadequate to do this job.
Yeah, I mean, regardless.
Nobody saw it. How many refs are out there, for crying out loud? How many refs have you seen in an NFL game? There's multiple, for crying out loud. Not one of you saw the quarterback get face masked? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it definitely was a pretty bad miscall, and one of the more blatant we've seen this season so far. Although I don't know if it would have changed things that much for the Vikings. I mean, sure, they would have gotten a fresh set of downs. You never know what happens in a one-score game, but
Look at what the Commanders did this week.
That's true.
You know, you can't tell me that. I mean, I've seen there's 2 Hail Marys, and we're at this point in the season, for crying out loud.
Yeah. I don't know. Regardless, it is what it is. Mazz, are the Vikings on fraud watch right now? I know we kind of touched on this last week after the loss to the Lions, which is a bit more forgivable than a loss to the Rams. But it almost kind of feels like that. Not that the floor is falling out from underneath them, but that it seems more like that the rest of the league is kind of catching up a little bit to what they're doing.
I'm gonna say no, because by all measures, Detroit might be the best team in the league.
Yeah.
I know the Ravens are making a strong case for that, and I still believe that it's the Ravens, if I have to be honest with you. But it was a Thursday night game for this one. I mean, short time, you know, especially you're looking at the Rams, you're like, God, dude, they got injuries. You know, they got guys just coming back. I know that they got Matt Stafford. We know that they've had clutch moments, but it's like, I think that they just got caught lacking a little bit. It's not like they got blown out in this and didn't have any chance at all. Like, this was a close game for a majority of it. I think they're going to be just fine moving forward. However, they need to avoid these trap games.
Yeah, definitely, especially if they want to stay in lockstep with Minnesota to try and win the division and get that home playoff game. They can't be losing games to the Rams. That's for sure.
Yeah, You mean Detroit?
No, to the Rams. Like, look, because Los Angeles is the trap game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if they want to try and win the division, they got to stay in lockstep with Detroit and not lose games to teams like the Rams and other opponents.
All right, I got you. You said stay lock point with Minnesota.
I did.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
It's all good, buddy. I got what you meant. I was like, I think that's what he means.
See,
but he's good. He's good.
So this is why this is a great partnership and tandem right here, because I could be talking out my butt and not making sense, but you know exactly what I'm talking about.
You deal with me every week, buddy. You know how many times I've mispronounced the name or, thought so. Dude, the amount of times that I've had messed up where they were playing the game going into that week is not even funny at this point, We all make mistakes, buddy. You're good.
All right, so speaking of Detroit, Tennessee got their break speed off. I don't want to spend too much time on this game. It was a drubbing like no other. I think Jared Goff threw the ball 13 times, and they put up like 50 points. That was thanks to special teams and a bunch of other stuff. So,
am I crazy for thinking he just might be a tad bit overrated?
Goff?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I've been fighting this battle for 2 years now. I'm not saying Goff's a bad quarterback, but like, how many guys wouldn't succeed in the environment he is? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like trust me, Goff, he's still is one of the better guys off play action. He's accurate. He's got a nice arm. But dude, you put Dak Prescott on the Detroit Lions, he's putting up MVP numbers too.
Glad you said it. Because if I said it, it's biased, right? You say it, this is completely fair game. So thank you for that. But I've been so critical of Goff over the years, especially from our time at college radio, because he was a guy, and I will give credit to development, he was a guy that if you did not establish the run and hit off a play action, he was not capable of just dropping back, making a read, and making a big play. Was physically incapable of doing it with the Rams.
Which, by the way, no one's been able to stop that against the Lions yet. So
yeah. So it's like, don't get me wrong, I've seen him the last season learn how to actually pass without having to have the run at times, and I'll give him that. However, dude, when you're throwing 3 touchdowns with a great completion percentage, but you threw for, what was it, 15 total times, and you went 12 of 15, you didn't even eclipse 100 yards, buddy, that ain't quarterback. All right, on why you guys are having success. That's not quarterback as to why you're winning games. You're literally just distributing the ball to a phenomenal team at this point. And hey, I can't fault him for that. He's been playing good, but just nobody hit me with Jared Goff MVP, because at this point it's going to be Lamar, and why wouldn't it be the way that he's playing?
Hard to disagree with that, especially with the Lamar sentiment. I think easily he has been the best quarterback in football this year. Green Bay at Jacksonville. Jordan Love suffered a little late groin injury in the third quarter. Malik Willis came in and was able to ice the game for the Packers. Not really too much I want to spend time on here. Just going through the final scores of the weekend. Indianapolis at Houston. So Houston came out with a win on this one, but I think the one thing I definitely want to touch on here is the Anthony Richardson when he tapped out of a play to take a breather on the sideline. He was too tired or whatever. And obviously now here we are 2-3 days later, and he has been benched for Joe Flacco. Mazz, do you think that has anything to do with how AR got benched?
No. I don't think that necessarily has to do with it. I think it's just the Colts have looked better with Flacco.
Correct.
And it's legitimately, he's more experienced. He's won a Super Bowl. He was a starting quarterback for how many years in the league? He made the Cleveland Browns work last year, on offense. So it's like, no, I think this is just your stereotypical case of, hey, we have Richardson, we're trying to use him for the future, but at this point in time, we just have more faith in Joe Flacco. And there's no, for a kid that's already been banged up to start his NFL career, there's really no, we feel like that we've got him the experience that is needed. Now let's let him sit back and just chill this one out for the rest of the season.
Just watch.
You're getting the development for them. They're not competing all the way. They're not going for like a Super Bowl, but they still want to win games. They still, want to make some kind of an impact. Although there is an argument that maybe they should be, thinking about tanking, but nobody wants to hear that. Let's be honest. I just think that they're getting more out of the old man, and hey, you got to rock with the hot hand.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see how maybe those Richardson's tired comments after the game on Sunday could have maybe rubbed some guys in the locker room the wrong way. Because, you got offensive linemen and defensive linemen playing almost every snap of the game, and here's your quarterback after a run tapping his helmet and saying, hey, I need a breather. You know what I mean? But we probably won't know the answer to that ever, if any. So, yeah, but Flacco definitely, I mean, against the Jaguars 2-3 weeks ago, he put up, 37 points on 4 touchdowns. I don't even remember exactly what his stat line was, but yeah, the Indianapolis offense definitely is clicking more with Joe Flacco at quarterback right now.
Big injury on the other side too. Let's not forget. You hear what happened? Stephon Diggs out for the season.
Correct. Yeah. Texans receiving room is definitely taking a hit right now. You got Nico Collins with the hamstring and now Diggs with the ACL. But the good news for them, they still got Tank Dell. They got a former second or third rounder in John Mechie there. And a guy, Hutchinson, they really like. So that's who the Jets will be seeing Thursday night. A little sneak peek as we head into next week's picks. But
oh, boy. Another loss for Gang Green. That's crazy.
Baltimore at Cleveland. Jameis Winston's first start as the Browns quarterback. And somehow, some way, they were able to find a way to win this game against Mazz, who you just proclaimed as the best team in football, the Baltimore Ravens.
Sometimes when a locker room guy gets the chance, magic happens. I was half right. For the reason of I said he was going to throw 3 touchdowns. I also thought he was going to throw 3 interceptions. Somehow that did not happen, and that's I guess that's the glaring weakness that you see with the Ravens.
He tried. There was a couple drop picks on the Ravens side of things.
Yep. So that I think that, like I said, I think that's more of a testament to, the Ravens secondary potentially being a weakness for them that they need to strengthen up for sure. But when you got a guy like Jameis with that arm and the energy that he brings, especially off of what you were rocking with in Deshaun Watson, I cannot believe that Deshaun wasn't benched sooner. I cannot believe that it took an injury to even get us here. I don't know what they were thinking. You can't tell me that Cleveland was not trying to tank at this point. Trading Amari Cooper, not going to the new quarterback. Anybody that tries to tell me we have the big contract, we need to play this guy. Sorry, buddy. He hasn't panned out. And it hasn't just been a couple of games. He hadn't panned out this season. He didn't pan out last season. And backups always look better than him. I don't care what you paid him. That's on you. But guess what? The backup is still eating money as well. So you might as well use him. I don't care if he's worth $40 million and he's only getting $5 million. The fact of the matter is you're paying both of these guys. And if you're trying to win games, it doesn't matter that you're paying the guy the bigger contract. You need to go with who the better damn option is. And clearly that is Jameis Winston. Because Jameis Winston still has an arm. He still has confidence. He gets these guys hype. And imagine what he could have done if Amari Cooper was still on that field with them. I mean, I'm telling you. I think the Browns are going to be trending upwards because at the very least they finally have a damn passing game.
Yeah, and I mean the Amari Cooper trade has led to the Cedric Tillman, I think his name is. Am I correct in that? The revelation of his talent, who Jameis seemed to like him a hell of a lot. Yeah, it just seemed like Cleveland they were actually clicking on offense. And Mazz, I know what you're saying where the sunk cost fallacy, if you know this guy stinks, you shouldn't write him out just because of the contract. But the problem with the Deshaun Watson situation was he's making so much money over the next 3 years, and he's going to be on the team next year and the year after that because the Browns gave him this massive contract. He's going to have to play. Because they're not going to be able to invest any more resources in the quarterback position.
You got one right now for the low.
I guess, but so Jameis is gonna play great for the rest of the season. Maybe not necessarily awesome.
And what if he does?
then he's gonna leave in free agency. He's gonna be a backup or a bridge quarterback somewhere else, and then you're either starting to either have Deshaun Watson or a rookie next year. You know what I mean?
I think that you need to look at it as we can't just absolutely ride or die with this guy just because he's making big money. If somebody's on the roster currently that is, one, he's doing so bad, you need to give it a shot, go give it the shot. Or two, you cannot tell me that Jameis was not looking better these past couple of weeks in their training camp, especially with the way that Deshaun Watson has been played. Now, I'm not privy to that information and seeing it firsthand, but dude, you never see Deshaun Watson with that team. I see Jameis Winston hype up speech after hype up speech like he's damn Drew Brees in New Orleans, okay? That's the last time I can remember a quarterback giving speeches like that on a consistent basis that everybody was just feeding into. Just the energy alone, you should have been giving Jameis a shot. You know, so all that I'm saying is, I'm not saying that you never played Deshaun Watson. I'm saying when it falters, or anybody, whether it's Daniel Jones, just these quarterbacks with giant contracts, anytime that they falter on a consistent basis, I'm not talking about one or two screw-ups, but they literally are hurting your team. Try something that's already on the damn payroll. It's there. You got to pay that guy too. Stop being afraid to go to it. I'm not saying you never start Deshaun Watson. I'm saying you don't be afraid to go to the backup, because these guys are quite literally holding back a team that should have been doing a lot more with the resources that they had, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
The level, the one aspect of this you're not taking into account is politics, man.
What, dude? Dude, you're wrong sometimes.
No.
Get over it.
Ownership, GM, they will strong arm a coach into saying, hey, we gave up this much to get this guy. Hey, we're paying this guy this much. He needs to play.
If you honestly feel like that's your best shot at winning after seeing it, dude, congratulations.
Well,
Not only do you have an
though.
L contract, you have an L situation on your hands. Just tell us you're trying to lose. Honestly, because that's what it looks like.
Exactly. I think sometimes these executives would rather their moves like stick with their bad moves and stick with their guns than admit that, hey, I was wrong. This gives us a better chance to win. There are idiots. There are idiots out there.
Then that's just what it comes down to. You're an idiot, because the fact of the matter is, getting a high draft pick is not going to help Cleveland right now. They were, I believe, a quarterback away and a star running back of getting healthy from making a push. You know,
last season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even this season, roster wise, right? They just needed those two things to click and align for them to have a better chance. If you would have put anybody, who knows, maybe if they go to Jameis just a little sooner, they don't start off with one of the worst starts in the NFL. You know, like when you have this roster, right? We're not talking about Denver, right? Where it's like everything's young and we've already shipped off star talent, right? We're not talking about the Chargers, who, hey, we got one guy and we're trying to see what we really are, but we literally got to get out of all of these aging contracts right now. We're talking about a team who could compete right this second coming into the season with the roster that they had. And all that you did was stick to your guns that barely popped off, all right? So, and you just looked like idiots. You've wasted the season. Congratulations. You wasted a year of Myles Garrett. You wasted a year of a dominant defense that was, top 2 in stats last season? You've wasted Amari Cooper, had to ship him out. You've wasted every damn opportunity that you had for the people of Cleveland to actually see some exciting football with a roster that's probably the best that it's been in years, because you were too stubborn to go to a damn quarterback switch because we paid the guy too much money. You're an idiot, because you're paying the other guy money too. I know 46 to $5 million is a big difference, but guess what? It's still $5 freaking million. And I don't even know if that's what Jameis makes. He's probably making less than that. I get it. But whatever it is, we're still talking about a shit ton of money is what I'm getting to.
Yeah, but the fans are still buying tickets, though. They're still buying
People
beer.
are always going to buy.
They're still buying beer and hot dogs, though, right? They're still buying.
What else am I going to do? I've already bought the season. I bought the season ticket because I thought this team might actually do something, and now I'm stuck with these tickets. I can't even give them away to other people because they're not going to want to go. I'm not re-ing up on the damn ticket. I ain't making a profit off the ticket. I'm lucky if I can even break even on the ticket because a lot of them are not. So instead of taking the loss on the money, I'm just going to go to the game because at least I can go and complain and find some fun in that. And who knows? Oh, wow. I might just show up to a game and Jameis friggin' Winston might start, throw 3 touchdowns on the best team in the NFL with the reigning MVP who's also leading the race for MVP. That's why you show up. Because any given Sunday. But guess what? Any given Sunday can't happen if you keep on rocking with the same guy who doesn't even want to be there.
Jameis Winston's making $4 million this year, by the way.
I was off by $1 million. Sorry, sue me.
All right.
What's Deshaun making this year?
Deshaun?
Because I know I will give credit to sleaziness when it's smart, not that we like it, right? When they saw that the suspension was coming down for his off-field, I don't even know what's going on with that, right? I like, case after case, they structure the contract where they deferred a lot of the money to the later years, so this way he'd only take so much money of a fine for the contract. So they were able to renegotiate with him and save his butt from losing a lot more money. So he's got genius management, lawyers, what have you. That's it. Thank you.
Yep.
But it was still, sleazy. But,
yeah.
hey,
So what you just said, the Browns have been kind of manipulating the contract and kicking the money down the road to create cap space now. So this year, Deshaun Watson is making $28 million. And like I said, over the next 2 seasons in 2025 and 2026, he is making $73 million. That's his cap hit. His cap hit is $73 million. The Browns are fucked. They're fucked.
Yeah, there's no other. But that's my thing though, right? Like, you've caused that. You could change you could still find light at the end of the tunnel. You don't need to play it every game if Jameis is legitimately the better shot to win. I look at it as this. I'm paying that money to the roster, what have you, right? He's already there. We can't get rid of him. But that doesn't mean that he needs to hurt us more than being in cap hell.
Yeah, like I said, sometimes the owner will jump in and say, hey, this needs to happen. Sometimes the GM, hey, we'll see what happens next year, I guess.
Well, you know what?
That's a 2025 problem for the Browns.
A real adult admits when they're wrong and they find solutions. They don't keep on repeating the same toxic behavior, okay? That's what children do.
You know who should take a note from that?
Jerry Jones?
Aaron Rodgers and the Jets should absolutely take a note from that, as they
I think both can.
Probably one of the most disgraceful losses I've seen from the Jets in a long time. Walking into Foxborough, a 7-point favorite, a whole ass touchdown, and finding a way to lose to. I mean, if Drake May plays the whole game, the Jets probably lose by 10. They lost to Jacoby Brissett in the second half. He diced them up on that last drive, and the Jets lost. Mazz, I told you the season was over after they lost to Buffalo, but this was just demoralizing, man. Like we hadn't won in a month. I was looking to just be like, hey, look, season's already over. I just want to start winning some games, and they can't even beat the lowly Patriots.
I believe it was Mike Francesa who recently quoted that the Jets have found a way to ruin Aaron Rodgers, which I never thought was possible. But no, Aaron Rodgers has found a way to ruin Aaron Rodgers because he has a big part to blame in just how everything's going down. There is no leadership for the Jets. There is no passion for the Jets. When Zach Wilson has had better starts just in terms of like record and win percentage, right, than Aaron freaking Rodgers did, that's an organization problem. Again, they have a culture problem. I don't think guys want to win games. I think they've already looked at it as we've lost games that we've absolutely should have won, and we've found a way to mess this up at every point. I know they're definitely pointing fingers. I know they're definitely playing the blame game, and I think that the Jets have unofficially given up on their season just due to being demoralized.
Yeah, it's definitely a building full of losers. I'll say that for sure. At this point, I think I know it's revisionist history because I mean at the time people said that it was a great move. Shouldn't have fired Robert Saleh. The defense has definitely checked out. I think he was their guy. He was their leader, and once he was removed, Ulbrich tried to fill those shoes, but they've asked Ulbrich to now, while also maintaining his duties as defensive coordinator, to also be the head coach of the team. And he's just stretched too thin. For a guy who's never been a head coach at the professional level, he's stretched too thin. Mazz, the Jets used all 3 timeouts in the first half to stop delay of games. In the second half, they got a delay of game penalty on a 2-point conversion attempt. How does that even happen? So I read this a few weeks ago when Nathaniel Hackett was still the offensive coordinator for the Jets, when he was still calling plays. And I doubt it's changed much since Todd Downing's become the offensive coordinator. But it's almost like Rodgers is a pitcher and the offensive coordinator calling the play in as a catcher. And Rodgers is just shaking off plays. He says, okay, how about let's run XYZ. And Rodgers is like, no, not that one. Okay, how about this one? No, not that one, not that one. Okay, how about this one? Oh, okay, yeah, well, that's good. And by the time they get to the line, there's 10 seconds left, and Rodgers is standing back there. I'm going to move this guy here. We're going to slide the protection this way. And then, bam, delay of game. Oh, timeout. Like, it's just...
Either A, give the power to Rodgers to call the damn play, or B, strip the power from Rodgers and have the offensive coordinator allowed to do his damn job. Somebody needs to have control. We can't sit here and keep splitting power as we're trying to figure out, oh, gee, what do you think's best in the situation, Aaron? We only have 30 seconds to actually get the damn play off. What should we go to? Nope, don't like that. Nope, don't like that. Oh, I think I like that one. Hold on, but let me just tweak it here, do it this. Dude, this is the problem with quote-unquote perfectionists, all right? Because when you're trying to be perfect, it doesn't need to be. You guys have the talent around you where you should be getting away with some things. You keep getting in your own way. Lack of leadership, lack of culture, lack of direction, and a group of talented guys who have no clue what they're doing anymore. All right? Because they don't even know who to listen to. Who's in charge of this franchise? Is it Woody Johnson?
Yes.
Is it Aaron Rodgers? Is it the GM? It sure as hell isn't the head coach.
Yeah.
All right? It wasn't the former head coach neither. All right? They still have yet to fire the guy who caused the offensive woes in the first place. He's still in the building. Do you know what that's like? Imagine finding a broken gear in your motor, replacing half of the motor, knowing that gear is still there, broken, and refusing to change it.
Yeah, I know. And it would be so easy to point at the kicker and say, hey, if Greg Zuerlein is able to make at least 2 kicks a game, the Jets are sitting at 5 wins right now. But it's
really
I can't even say that because this team is not, they're not capable of being a winning football program. You know what I mean? I might have said this to you a few weeks ago, like not on the show, but just calling you after a game or you called me or something. But acquiring Aaron Rodgers wasn't a bad idea. Handing him the keys to the franchise was a bad idea. If they had just traded for him and said, hey, you're fitting into our. I mean, who knows if I can't even be mad at it because I was all for it too. Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh sold their souls to go get Aaron Rodgers, and they did whatever it took, which was giving him organizational control on personnel, on coaches, on whatever else you want to say. Acquiring him wasn't a bad idea because I don't think he's not the same Rodgers he was even 3-4 years ago. He's got it up here still. He's starting to lose it physically. If he was brought in and he was paired with an offensive coordinator and wasn't given the ability to choose his guy and who he wanted, I really think the Jets would be in such a better spot right now. I really do.
So here's the problem with it, and I think you're right. It's the fact of let's just look at some examples, right, on either side of it. First, you see a player get full keys to the castle. The Lakers did this with LeBron James, and the only way that it panned out was for the bubble to happen and a big break for them to get back healthy. They depleted all young core from the Lakers, and it was just the wrong moves at the time. You know, don't get me wrong, getting Anthony Davis in is great, but you probably could have got him in the offseason. And the only reason why that worked is because a global pandemic had to shut down the league and allow them to get rest. Otherwise, they weren't winning a chip that year. So we've seen a guy, and mind you, he was younger than Rodgers, and he was putting up bigger numbers than Rodgers when they gave him the keys to the castle. But guess what? He was not a part of that organization for X amount of years. I feel like we've seen players give keys to the castle, and it's much deserved when they've been there for years. They've been in the same system. They already understand how the team is run. The organization has a culture with it that they are a big part of, where they aren't just a part of the team. They quite literally are the team, right? And that's when you can give a guy keys to the castle. Tom Brady, on the other hand, left the place where he probably could and should have been given the keys to the castle in New England, goes down to Tampa. Did they give him keys? No.
Yeah.
Bruce,
Okay. All right. Okay.
Hold on.
No. You hold on.
Go ahead.
They didn't give him the keys in terms of coaching staff. Yes, he integrated with Byron Leftwich, which I just looked up. He was the incumbent. He didn't change coaches. Bruce Arians. He did have a say in personnel, though. He did bring some Patriot guys with him. So don't say he didn't have the keys. Okay.
He didn't have the key. Bruce Arians very much was still in control of that team. There was a hierarchy in Tampa, and it was like, Tom, come here. We're going to give you the respect and make you a part of some choices. But they didn't give him the full keys to the castle, where it's literally like, you know, we're going to do every little thing that you say. What was really given to him? Hey, I would like my tight end. Who else did they try to bring in? What else did they bring in? His offensive coordinator?
They brought in some running backs for him, and
they needed a running back. I mean, they had to go get the best one available.
Antonio Brown.
You needed Brown.
You needed Brown with Evans and Godwin.
Why not? You're faulting them for bringing in best available.
I'm not faulting them. I'm just saying these were moves that Brady advocated for, and they acquiesced to him.
Sure, but it's not like it was just going with guys that are my guys, right? Play with AB for 6 games before he ends up getting suspended. You went and got Rob Gronkowski. I felt like I can wholeheartedly sit here and say the Jets have given more power to Aaron Rodgers than Tom Brady was given down in Tampa. And even if you want to say that Tom Brady had influence, he was not the top guy. The second Aaron Rodgers came in, there was a question between who's running this team, Robert Saleh or Aaron Rodgers. We never once questioned whether Bruce Arians was running the damn Buccaneers. Not once. No matter how much you want to hate on Brady. And you know what? Even if they gave the keys to Brady and you fully want to believe that, apparently he's better at making decisions. And that team was in a better position to win than the Jets were, apparently.
Yeah, and I would point to the coaching. Bruce Arians is a hell of a lot better of a coach than Robert Saleh will ever be. You know what I mean? He is that CEO type. He had Todd Bowles as his defensive coordinator, a former head coach. He had Byron Leftwich, a former quarterback in the NFL. He had and that's the stark contrast to me here is that the Jets did not have, like you said earlier, they did not have the winning culture, the leadership already entrenched in the organization. They were banking on the fact that Aaron Rodgers was going to bring that with him, and he did not.
And how about this too, right? Brady, even with the little keys that you want to get to, there was an established group of veterans on both sides of the ball already that he came into and it's like, hey, I'm here to be a part of you guys, not to reform you guys. You know, I'm here because you guys have already had success, and quite literally, I think adding me makes the difference. You had 2 great wide receivers, and Evans and Godwin. Vita Vea on the defense with Shaq Barrett. There was
Levante
names
David.
all over. Yeah, exactly. And even the front line, for crying out loud, was already an established group that added one rookie that was, highly touted. But other than that, everywhere you look, there was veteran leadership and already foundation laid for success, as opposed to the Jets who, yes, the defense looked good, but let's be honest, that group's been together, what, 2 seasons? No offensive line. We've revamped everything there, right? Even the offensive weapons. The backs guy's what, in his 3rd season? There's been too much new faces coming into the organization, whether it's through the draft, whether it's star personnel. There's no gelling. How can we give keys to a guy that hasn't even been here when we haven't even been here?
Yeah, it's dark. It's real dark in Florham Park right now, and it's not going to get any better because the Jets are going to clean house after the season's over. I mean, I don't know about the roster. Definitely going to have a new GM and head coach next season. And
you want to make it a prediction for that head coach right now?
I would love to sit here and say, oh, the Jets are going to go get Ben Johnson, the Lions offensive coordinator. But no hot candidate in their right mind is going to want to come and coach, general manage for the Jets. Because just of how Woody Johnson, I mean, and also this could totally change. Like a week from now, Woody Johnson could be on a plane back to the UK to go be ambassador to Great Britain for the Trump administration like he did from 2016 to 2020. And it's going to be Christopher Johnson running the team for the next 4 years, and we're back to square one. I don't see any highly esteemed candidate wanting to come do this for the Jets just because of how Woody Johnson has his hands on the wheel when he's here.
What is your criteria for highly esteemed?
Like,
in terms, are you talking about like in the league right now having success?
Yeah, like I'm talking like a Ben Johnson, a Mike Vrabel, like those guys are going to have their pick of the litter for what jobs they want, more likely than not. And why would they want to come choose the Jets?
I have a guy.
My perfect candidate to come coach the Jets next season is the Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator, Todd Monken. They should have hired his ass in 2019. It was between him and Adam Gase, and Peyton Manning made a backward-ass fucking phone call to Christopher and Woody Johnson telling them, oh, this guy is innovative, he's coaching where football's going. It should have been Todd Monken back then. Rectify that mistake, bring him in. He's an older guy, he's been around the league, he's won at the highest level in college and the pros. Give me Todd Monken.
I don't think it's going to happen, if I'm being honest with you. Because if I'm Todd Monken, you already chose one guy over me. Why the hell would I want to go there?
It was 5 years ago. It was 5 years ago.
That's fine. I think there's a guy that's a perfect candidate that's already had success with the Jets who's literally being vocal about, I'm inspired to come to this team. All right? Give me Rex Ryan with the Jets. He's the only person in the world right now that says, I want to go to New Jersey. I want to get back into coaching. I'm passionate about coaching. I believe that I can fix this team, and I'm excited to fix this team. He's the only person on the planet who says, I am proud to be a Jet, right? Because we know how these older coaches work, right? You got, there's a line. You have your new age guys where this is business, and I'm here for results. And you have these older guys where I'm still here for business, but I'm here because I believe in tradition. I believe in you need some of that rah-rah spunkiness to get going. And I fully believe that you cannot have success without building a quote-unquote family of brothers to go fight with. All right? And that's what they need. They need culture more than they need anything else right now. You need somebody they have the talent, Charlie. They have the big names. They have the capabilities. They need a true leader right now. And why not go get a guy who literally gave you your last bit of success? This guy got Mark Sanchez to the AFC Championship game. And if they just had a little bit more talent, maybe they could have been in the Super Bowl. Maybe they could have won a Super Bowl. You go back to what you know when things are failing, right? You keep on trying these new age stuff. That ain't you. You've already made good moves in the draft. You went out and got Aaron Rodgers. Nobody can fault you for that. You even made a trade for a premier wide receiver who I was busting your balls about last week, who should be working out better than he has, for your team, especially when you're pairing it with a young Corvette of a wide receiver who's in, his third season for you. There is talent all over the place. There's not a direction. All right? Go get a guy that will get these guys to run through a wall because they already have the physical tools to be successful. They just don't have the right mind state.
Okay, so no, number one.
Okay.
I'm not saying I don't have a soft spot for Rex Ryan because, yeah, the best Jets teams of my life were coached by him, and he was fantastic back then. And I'm not saying he doesn't have that energy, that rah-rah energy, but I don't trust him for a long duration of time. I wouldn't give him the keys to the franchise and say, all right, we're going to trust you for however many years. I don't think he has the sustainability. However, I would not be opposed to bringing him in right now and pulling him off ESPN the same way the Colts did Jeff Saturday a few years ago and saying, Rex, here you go. You haven't coached in the league since 2016. Here's a roster full of talent. Here's Aaron Rodgers. Here's what's supposed to be a solid defense. What else is there to lose this season?
Where's the harm in the interim, right? You're getting the test period.
There is nothing to lose. The season's already over. Jeff Ulbrich is not a good head coach, defensive coordinator conglomerate. Bring somebody in who's going to be calling the shots from the main headset. Let Ulbrich go back to calling the defense, and let's see what happens.
So here's my question for you, right? What do you do if he legitimately comes in this interim role and absolutely kills it?
If the Jets make the playoffs and go on a run, then yeah, keep him on as head coach. But it's not going to happen. So.
Like, I'm not saying to tie yourself to Rex Ryan for the next 5 years. I'm saying give it a shot because you literally have nothing else to lose. The things that you're struggling with, we know that that's his specialty, all right? Rex has never been the X's and O's guys. He's been the guy of, there's the wall, let's tear it down right now, all right? And we're not going around it. We're not going over it. We're going straight through that mother, all right? I think putting him in the interim role, and I'm glad that you're on board with that. I should have been more clarified. I'm not saying that you need him for, tied down for years to come. Let's be honest, Rex is up there, But right now, I think you come in, you have a guy that it's literally, this is the boss. There's no mistake of who the boss is, and this is the damn direction we're all going in, or you ain't playing.
Yeah, I doubt it will happen, but if it did, I'd honestly be so for it. For this season, not going forward. I still think the problem. See, like you're thinking of those AFC Championship games. I'm remembering 2013 and 14 where the roster started to tune him out a little bit after a while because his shtick kind of ran itself through. But is what it is. I mean, I doubt the Jets actually do something like that. It'll probably be Ulbrich for the rest of the season, but it doesn't even matter anyway. The Jets their season's done.
It's over.
With that being said, they are winning Thursday night against Houston. No, I'm just kidding.
You don't even believe that?
I'm still picking them, though.
Yeah, that's fine. You're doing what I did with the Dallas Cowboys the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
you want to believe.
I will never not pick against them. You know what I mean?
You almost need to believe.
Yeah, exactly.
All
right, Mazz, I mean, honestly, the rest of these 4 o'clock games were kind of everything besides Chicago and Washington was not really worth.
That's what I wanted to get to with Chicago and Washington, because talking about not being in the right state of mind. Not being where you needed to be. There's a certain defensive back out there. What the hell are you doing, buddy? Not only did you look like a schmuck, talking smack to the fans, whatever, in the middle of setting up for a play, you also end up being the schmuck who gets to the ball, tips the ball, and it's the tip that ends up back up into the air, and then boom, a Hail Mary caught right on top of you. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, shout out Flanders' finest, Noah Brown, New Jersey legend. But yeah, Tyreek Stevenson, I think is his name. Definitely getting clowned on these past few days. He did apologize to the team. He did apologize to the fans. But yeah, just I don't know how you could take yourself out of the plate even just for a second. Like on the last play of the game, like you literally all you have to do is lock in for 15 more seconds and you're good, and then you can walk off the field with a win.
He locked in 3/4 apparently because he got to the ball, he tipped in. It was just that 1/4 spent Maybe you could have cheated over a little bit more. Maybe you could have seen something, but no, you're too busy doing all this extra stuff. And I will give it to him. He's saying all the right things after it happened.
Yeah.
So good for him. I doubt he'll ever make this mistake ever again, because this is, oh man, you want to talk about embarrassment? I mean, there's getting caught with your zipper down, and then there's this, and this is much worse. And I'm sure if you're his boy, right? You are clowning him for this for the rest of his life. No matter how life is good, whenever you talk smack, this is hey buddy, you remember that time where you locked that where you were supposed to be locked in, and one of the biggest moments of a game, and you just literally just were off in la la land and doing your own thing and letting your ego take over. I'm going to be honest. If I was the Bears head coach when that happened, if I was who even is the Bears head coach right now?
Matt Eberflus.
Eberflus, right? Thought so. Okay. If I was Matt Eberflus, not only is that a broken clipboard, not only am I throwing everything in that locker room, there is a verbal beatdown like you've never seen a verbal beatdown on a player just for his immaturity, and like you've never seen, because that is a loss I cannot sleep with that night. I looked at that for Bears fans and I went, oh my God. Or dude, that's one of those moments. It is a stain forever. It's a great learning moment, right? But you're learning under the harshest of conditions. Charlie, I'm gonna be honest. That might have sent me to the hospital if I was a head coach.
Might have been a heart attack right there.
You have blood pressure things that I'm working on. If I had to deal with that, blood vessel completely bursted.
Pop.
Okay? Popped. Dunzo. That's it.
All right, Mazz. So finally was able to pick up a win against you last week after you had been smoking me the last couple times out. I finished 11-5, you 10-6. That brings us to you at 84-37 and me at 77-46. So hopefully I can pick up a few more on you this week. We'll see.
I think I know a game that you'll definitely get on me, though.
Definitely?
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
I'm in a toxic relationship with the Dallas Cowboys.
You can't even say that because it cuts both ways. I'm in a toxic relationship with the New York Jets. I'm picking them to beat the Houston Texans on Thursday night, Halloween. I'm sure you're rocking with the Texans, but I don't know. The Jets were able to take care of business against Houston last year with Zach Wilson at quarterback. Maybe this is the get-right game they've been looking for. Houston's coming off a shaky win against Indianapolis, and they're really banged up at the receiver position. Screw it. Give me the Jets at home.
Yeah, I mean, sure, maybe this is the game that they shake it off. Maybe this is the game that they pull it together. And maybe this is the day I finally see a unicorn. I don't see it happening, my friend. Even with Stephon Diggs going down, I just have more faith in the Texans. I know that they have to come to MetLife Stadium, or, MetLife Support Stadium is what it should be called right now, because both of those franchises are not it. And until the Jets give me a reason to believe otherwise, I think I will be picking against them for the remainder of the season.
Fair enough. I mean, somehow the Jets are favored in this game, if you can believe that.
Yeah, -1.5 I got right now.
Yep.
That's just because the injury to Houston, and they actually have to feel that something has to come together. But if it wasn't going to be that New England game, it sure as hell wasn't going to be this game.
Here, actually, I've got something to read to you. Ready?
Oh God, give me something inspirational. Let me guess. Do I have a beat reporter? Do I have a quote from Aaron Rodgers? Do I have a statement from the organization? What do you got for me?
So this came from Twitter from a Jets fan I follow. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
The Jets being favored basically all year against every team they've played, and now versus Houston despite being 2-6 is not a, quote, low or bad information problem for Vegas. Vegas odds makers are the closest thing on earth to an ultimate artificial general intelligence making predictions. It's not like they haven't watched the Jets and just see big names on the roster and think the Jets should win. In reality, they've looked at all the data from all angles and determined the Jets are a playoff team. The problem is the Jets are the Hyperion variable, unknowable, defying all conventional wisdom, advanced analytics, and the law of large numbers simultaneously. The Jets cannot be accounted for with mathematics or Newtonian physics. It's poetic in a way because it proves the existence of unquantifiable forces outside of the material world, but disturbing all the same time to know that the best evidence we have of inscrutable, perhaps malevolent, cosmic energies on this mortal plane is an underperforming sports team.
Was that Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yeah, maybe.
Listen, it's good to know that we're not all just a bunch of Neanderthals watching, grown men just slam into each other. We got some intellectuals as part of a fan base, which is always awesome. We need smart people. I think we need to put an emphasis on education these days. However, he's not wrong. That was beautiful. That was poetic justice.
There are some...
I don't know that person. I don't know them as a human being.
I mean, me neither.
And all I know is that for this time, right now, in the world, they are absolutely right. I mean, and for those reasons, that unknown variable, which I fully believe is a culture problem and a lack of leadership, I will not be taking them.
Fair enough. All right, New England at Tennessee. New England coming off only their second win of the season against the Jets. The Titans coming off an absolute ass-whooping from the Detroit Lions. I'm taking the Titans after getting blown out by 40 points. I think Tennessee's gonna be coming into this one pissed off at home. Give me the Titans.
Yeah, I think the Patriots are going to be hyped about facing the Jets and coming out on top. However, is Drake May? What's up with that?
We're not sure. No report yet on that concussion and how serious it is. If it's going to be a few weeks before he comes back, or it's just a quick turnaround. But
all right, you've been giving caveats a lot this season. I'm locking it in right now without having to make a phone call to you. Drake May plays. Give me the Patriots. If not, the Titans. No phone call needed. He plays and is starting. I'm in on the Patriots. He's not playing. I'm rocking with the Titans. That's it. That's the take. That's the caveat. Thank you.
Okay. Sounds fair enough. Let's go.
I have no faith in anybody else with these organizations, dude. Good God. Tennessee just needs... honestly, Titans just need a quarterback, if I'm being completely honest with you, so they're probably going to win this game, but I think if Drake May plays, we'll see some magic, so whatever.
We'll see. Switching over to New Orleans at Carolina. Saints 7-point favorites. I don't think Derek Carr's back yet, is he?
I don't believe so. And I do know that big trade that we have not talked about yet that made the Ravens even better. Deontay Johnson is no longer a Panther after a 5th-round pick trade sends him over to Baltimore. And, the Carolina Panthers have nothing. Will continue to have nothing. And, I hope all these draft picks that they keep on getting end up working out. But let's be honest. I mean, they're not even getting good value for these guys. So, yeah, this shouldn't even be a question. Give me the Saints, whether it's Spencer Rattler, whether it's Taysom Hill playing quarterback. I couldn't even tell you right now. But, it's got to be the Saints.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm rocking with the Saints. It actually seems like Derek Carr is going to be back this week. He was only supposed to be out 2-3 games. I believe it's been 3. So the Derek Carr show returns, where they were putting up some pretty good offensive numbers those first few weeks when he was playing. But the Deontay Johnson trade doesn't really move the needle for me that much. He's not a Devontae Adams, not an Amari Cooper, definitely not a DeAndre Hopkins. I think he's more of a supplemental piece on offense, just because they're not very happy with the production outside of Zay Flowers, probably.
So, I mean, I think that's the reason why I actually put more faith into this. Just looking at Deontay Johnson, I mean, for the season right now, it's not great. Obviously, 30 receptions, 357 yards, 3 touchdowns. But look at what he's been playing with. Last year, 717 yards. Year before that, 882 when he was, of course, over in Pittsburgh. He's been shown that if you give him something to work with, he could get to 1,000 yards. He's not getting to 1,000 yards this season, but I definitely think this is the best wide receiver duo the Ravens have had the last time I can remember.
Steve Smith and Anquan Bolden, maybe?
That's as far back as it goes. And, again, he doesn't need to be the star. You got Zay Flowers, who isn't a star, and it's working. You just gave Lamar Jackson, the star, another piece to work with for that offense that is already featuring Derek freaking Henry, for crying out loud, and 2 amazing tight ends. And if you talk to Ant Cafone, there's a third one that's actually really good as well. I don't even know who the hell he is, but You know, there's weapons all around them. This is only going up for them.
I'm not saying it's not a positive. It's definitely a positive. It's just he's not going to be like changing your offense, which I guess to your point is not necessarily a bad thing at all. It's if anything, it means what you got going is working, and you're just adding another cook in the kitchen.
It's not even a cook to me. It's literally a guy who just needs to, the plate's being served, bring it to the table.
I like that one. Yes, chef.
Yes, chef. Dude, you confused the hell out of me with that text, by the way. We're middle of the night. We're trying to, figure out, hey, it's always whether are we going to do this on Tuesday or are we going to do this on Wednesday, because there's no other days, because we're busy, man, And when you hit me with a yes, chef, I thought you were trying to say chief, and I was like, is he calling me fat?
No.
What's going on here? I was so confused. I was like, maybe he's just busting me. Whatever.
I call people chief sometimes too. I don't mean that in a demeaning way.
No, there's nothing wrong with chief, but calling a fat guy chef, Which is, I'm gonna be honest. When you were on your bathroom break, I went downstairs. I made me a nice sandwich, bro. You were in there so long, I was able to cook that sandwich. I had to heat up the bread because it was a little stale. I forgot to wrap it up last night. But heat it up, get it back to soft. Put my little gabagool on there. Put a little cheese on there. A little mayo action, and ate the sandwich, cleared the plate, and then I walked back in and I see your face.
That sounds pretty delicious. I'm not gonna lie.
I've been having a good day. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's been pretty solid so far, I'd say. All right. Biggest spread of the weekend on our next game. We got Denver heading to Baltimore. Baltimore's 9.5-point favorites, and Denver's pretty hot right now. I believe they're sitting at 5-3. Definitely the first wild card team, but they're running into a team in Baltimore that is coming off a loss and knows that they got to keep winning to keep pace with Pittsburgh in this division. And I think this is a pretty easy Baltimore pick for us, right?
How are they both 5-3 is just immaculate to me. But yeah, no, you got to be rocking with the Ravens, especially after taking a crushing L to an interconference a division rival. Thank you. I was about to say interconference. What am I talking about? To a conference rival. I think this is going to be more ugly than -9.
Yeah.
I actually I fear for Denver right now, if I'm being honest with you. Anybody that has to play Lamar Jackson in fantasy, it's already we fear for you. Now we're petrified for you. Anybody that has to play against Derrick Henry, good luck.
Yeah, I don't think the Denver defense has seen a test like this all season yet, so it might be in for a rude awakening. But,
heavy dosage of power football.
Yeah. Next up, we got the Raiders in Cincinnati playing the Bengals. Bengals at 3-5 really need to start stacking wins here if they want to keep pace. Joe Burrow said in his press conference following the Eagles' loss on Sunday that we got to get to 10 wins if we want to get in. That means we got to go 7-2 at least the rest of the way. Sounds doable. And it starts here at home against the lowly Raiders team that offensively is having a really hard time and defensively is okay. But I think Joe Burrow and the Bengals will be able to take care of business in this one.
Yeah, no, I do worry a little bit about the pass rush that Burrow is going to be facing, especially with Max Crosby on the other side. But you have to have faith in the Bengals here. If they can't win this one, I mean, there's nothing that's going to go their way. So, yeah, you got to rock with the Bengals. It's a must-win game for sure against an opponent that you absolutely should blow out of the water.
Chargers at Browns. Chargers are definitely one of the more interesting teams in the season, in this football season right now, because they're not very talented, but they've been finding ways to win games. And right now they're sitting in the wild card picture, pretty at the 6th seed if I'm not mistaken. And if they want to stay in that spot, they're gonna have to beat Cleveland. But Mazz, I think I'm kind of.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't steal my pick.
I'm
don't do it.
I'm going with the Chargers.
God, you're going with the Chargers because I am going with the Browns.
Yeah.
New energy, new face, new sheriff in town, baby. Jameis Winston is going to go on a Ryan Fitzmagic-esque run and is going to hype his team up. Now, the Fitzmagic run, right? It is good for the first 3 games of the season. This was game number 1 against the Ravens. This will be game number 2, and it will fizzle out after game 3 for the start of Jameis Winston's season. And for that, I have to ride the hot hand because the change still has the guys hyped up. He's going to hit some ridiculous pregame speech that is going to energize this team like taking a shot of a 5-hour energy. All right? And for this game and the next game only, I will believe in Cleveland.
All right. I mean, it's hard to argue with your logic just because the magic that Jameis might bring to the table, but I just think the Chargers are playing a really good brand of football right now where they're able to establish a run game. Justin Herbert is hitting the throws he's being asked to hit. The defense is good enough with Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack coming off the edges. Give me the Chargers, and I can feel somewhat good about that.
Notice how well that I've timed just the timing of the next 3 games, because they have the Chargers, who are trying to still figure out who they are. Then they have a bye week, and then they come back against the Saints. I could not have hit a better week to hit that take.
The Jameis revenge game.
I could not have hit a better week to hit this take right now, because I was like, I'm saying all this, and what if they run into the Chiefs or something? Let me go see who this exactly is. But I'm dead on the money. Bye week, Saints, Chargers up first. I believe in Cleveland for 3 weeks.
For 3 weeks.
Yeah, only 3 weeks.
With the caveat of 3 weeks.
Yeah.
All right. Miami.
After that, no, jump off. It's a sinking ship.
Miami's headed up to Buffalo. This is actually the game that Tua got hurt in week 2. And so quickly after his second game back from the concussion is back against this same team. But this time it's going to be in Buffalo. Mazz, I think we're probably both leaning with Buffalo here.
The only time that Miami could have a shot at winning this matchup is if it's early on in the season. You still got a bit of that summer heat glaring down in Miami, and Buffalo gets a little tired out. Now it's getting a little chilly. Buffalo's already a really good team who's added an even better weapon. I expect nothing but a steamroll job coming from the Bills. Now, Miami's probably going to try to play this one a little heavier, try to, hamp up Tua a little bit just because of, rocking with our guy and the stuff that happened. Josh Allen, too much to handle, baby. They're not doing nothing against him. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Josh Allen and the Bills are playing a really good brand of football right now. Miami's still reeling from that loss to Arizona and just the skid they've been on since Tua went down. So yeah, that's pretty easy Buffalo there. Moving on to Dallas at Atlanta. Atlanta's the favorite at home here against the Dallas team that just coming off a loss to San Francisco. Mazz, I'll let you start this one.
What can I believe in, dude? I mean, I'll tell you what I can believe in. They went up against the 49ers, who, yeah, they had some injuries, but they still put up 24 points. Dak started that game 0 for 2 with interceptions, ends up finishing evened out at 2-2. I have faith in my quarterback, right? I have faith that they could get a win against this Falcons team. I don't like the matchup, though.
Yeah.
I think I have to go with the Falcons just because I've been dying on the sword of the Cowboys for so long.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
What?
You're not taking the Cowboys?
No, I don't think I am.
All right, well, then I'm not taking the Jets. I'm taking Houston.
That's fine with me.
You're lame, man.
Why am I lame?
Because you just said earlier you were gonna nah, screw you.
I knew that was gonna piss you off, buddy. I'm taking the Cowboys.
Why are you playing with my emotions right now?
Because it's fun as hell to do. Why would I not believe in them? I mean, come on, Kirk Cousins. He's good. I'm hoping Drake London has a big game. I'm hoping it's a high scoring and it's exciting. So this is why I'm not sitting there in misery the entire time. Could the Falcons win this one at home? Abso-freaking-lutely. But dude, the Cowboys, something legitimately has to click. I mean, dude. It has just been disappointment after disappointment. If you can't beat the Falcons, who's a decent organization, don't get me wrong, they've been having a good 5-3 season, but let's look at quarterbacks. I'm still taking Dak over Kirk. Let's look at wide receivers. I'm still taking CD over Drake London. Even the tight end matchup, I could make an argument for. I'm not going to. Comes down to defense. They probably have the edge there, for being completely honest, because we're horrible. Yeah, I got nothing for you, dude. This is going to be ugly. And again, I'm throwing up. I took them against San Francisco. How could I not take them against Atlanta? I'm throwing up another prayer, and I'm hoping it lands.
You're forgetting about Darnell Mooney, who's the Cowboys wide receiver too. And
the Falcons.
Yeah, you also conveniently left out the run game for the Cowboys, which is non-existent, and I believe Bijan Robinson's going to have a day against that Dallas defense. So yeah,
Yeah, probably.
I'm rocking with Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm taking this sorely out of you made me feel bad for not wanting to take them. That's it.
Hey,
That's it.
take who you want to take, man. I'm just letting you know that
You being honest?
if you take Atlanta, I'm taking the Texans. I'm just letting you know. Because that's my whole thought process here is we're both
Yeah.
signing away a loss essentially every week when we're both picking our teams. So
I don't know if I can do it, dude. I genuinely, I have no faith left in me. I'm not saying I'm not taking them the rest of the season, but this is literally a stylistic nightmare. You know, I want to tell you Cowboys are winning. I want to sit there and tell you all these things. I know I look like such a pancake right now because I'm absolutely a pancake on this team. I want to love them. I hate everything about them except for one player, and that's my quarterback. I'm sorry, two players. The dude Overshone over on defense has been doing really good. It ain't it, buddy. It ain't it. The Falcons have to win.
we'll see.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Dallas won.
I would.
Anything could happen.
Sure, but my faith is gone in them, dude. I have an owner that literally said we were all in. And then I slowly watched the Ravens make every move that the Cowboys not necessarily should have made the exact move, but they went and got the receiver, they went and got a running back. You know, they made the moves to go all in. And the Cowboys haven't done a damn thing. I have no longer have faith in America's team.
Deontay Johnson should have been the move the Cowboys made 100%. I mean, like I'm pretty sure they only gave up a 6th-round pick for him, the Ravens.
I think it was a 5th, but nonetheless, should have got Derrick Henry too.
I think it was a pick swap.
And behind door number 1,
The Ravens will send a 5th-round pick to the Panthers, and they receive Carolina's 6th-round pick back. So it was a pick swap.
Yep.
Which is something the Cowboys could have easily done.
It's horrible. Just absolutely horrible. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I think this is one of those heart with Dallas. It's not even just like brain with Atlanta. It's literally just like, I can't be hurt one more time. Can I? Can I afford this? I mean, I'm wearing the hat backwards for crying out loud right now because I don't even want anybody to see the star that I'm rocking it. You know? This is just like Tampa, dude. I got to go with Atlanta. I'm sorry. I know I let you down. I'm so sorry.
All right, I'll just let you know I'm changing my pick to Houston.
Ooh. I hope both of our teams win and we look like absolute clowns.
Because I'm not gonna. The only reason why I picked the Jets like these last few weeks is because you keep picking Dallas. You know what I mean? So
Is that true?
that is true. Yeah, because I mean like, yeah, every other game I'm choosing who I think is going to win, but I always made the exception that I'm always gonna pick the Jets. You know what I mean?
You know, I'm a betting man.
Yeah.
I'll swap back.
All right, make up your
Just for you.
fucking mind, Mazz. You
We're
swapped
swapping
like
back.
3 fucking times.
We're swapping back.
All right.
We're swapping back. You made me do this. I look like an idiot right now, and I don't even care.
All right. We're moving off. We're moving off the Cowboys. Moving
I
off.
didn't
this
even know
game.
that you've been doing that. I thought you were genuinely believing in the Jets.
I mean, I did the first couple games here and there, but as the weeks have gone on, yes, I was very, very much picking the Jets just because you keep picking the Cowboys, and we're picking our teams. That's how I thought we were doing this, you know?
I'm picking them because I thought they were really going to win.
You really
The only game that I legitimately did not have confidence that the Cowboys could actually win was the Detroit game. Even the 49ers one, I said, dude, they're banged up. I think that they have a shot.
Yeah, but
you know?
You picked Dallas that week, though.
With what?
Against the Lions. You picked them.
Oh, yeah, I know, but I said I'm living in blissful ignorance. I knew I was wrong. I knew. Got roasted on TikTok for it. Way to go, guys. We can't see sarcasm even when I blatantly say I'm living in blissful ignorance. I guess some of our fan base can't whip out a dictionary, you know? And then this is me for crying out loud. I ain't no Aristotle's, you know? I ain't Einstein. Like, but come on, bro. But, yeah, They have a shot, but I'm not gonna sit here and give you the whole spiel. All right.
All right. Let's move off it before you switch again. All right.
No, we're staying with the Cowboys. Screw it. You made me lock in, and it is what it is. And when I'm upset on Sunday, it's your fault.
Okay. And when I'm upset on Thursday, it's your fault.
Why is it my fault? You're the one who started this.
Because
Whatever. Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
That's what I'm. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Washington coming off the Hail Mary win in New York against the Giants. 3.5-point favorites. I think this is a fairly easy Washington pick.
Again, I do think that I could see the Giants, playing up to the level. But I said that against Philadelphia, and they got absolutely dog walked. So, but yeah, if you think I'm rocking with the Giants at all this season, I mean, they could be playing flag football against a bunch of sixth graders, and they might lose that, bro.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and Washington's just playing too good of football right now for me to pick against them. So we're going to rock with them. On the other side of the Hail Mary, Chicago heading to Arizona out in the desert to face the Cardinals. This is a tough one because these are two interesting NFC teams, both pretty young. Chicago it has looked good in recent weeks. The offense is very spotty. It's a week-by-week thing. Are they going to score 30? Are they going to score 10? We don't really know. Arizona, they're still trying to figure things out as well. But if you believe it or not, the Cardinals are first in the NFC West right now due to tiebreakers. Because all three of those teams are sitting at 4-4, except for the Rams, who are at 3-4. But Mazz, I think I'm going to go with Chicago on this one. Coming off that tough loss, I think the defense is still playing at a good enough level where they're going to be in this game, and I think Caleb Williams makes enough plays that Bears pull this one out.
I think Kyler Murray's the better version of Caleb Williams right now, and I got to be rocking with the Cardinals. They have the home field advantage. Kyler Murray's been doing wonders for my fantasy team, has been doing, wonders of keeping this Cardinals team not only afloat, but apparently on top. I have no clue how we're in this situation right now, because they haven't been great, but they've been good enough apparently, and I think it's going to go their way because, again, when it comes down to culture with these teams, I do not expect the Bears to be shaking it off like, you know what, we're a great organization, and great organizations bounce back. I think they're learning to become a great organization. They're not quite there, and it's not going to go as magical as you would expect it to.
I don't disagree with you that Kyler Murray is the better version of Caleb Williams. I 100% agree with you. I just think the Bears are a better team, especially defensively, and I think they have better weapons as well. So,
okay, I don't hate it. I don't hate the pick at all. Again, another one of those 50-50 games, but I'm willing to rock it and ride with my fantasy quarterback.
I heard you. All right, Jacksonville at Philadelphia.
We don't even need to talk about it.
Yeah, Eagles are a touchdown favorite. Jacksonville has been fairly abysmal most of the season.
The real question is, does Doug Peterson get fired this game? I don't think so.
Oh, the Doug Peterson return to Philly game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't see. Okay, I see you. I mean, if they get beat bad enough, maybe.
No, they're rocking with them to the end. They're going to let the wheels completely fall off.
All right. Well,
if it didn't happen, already, I don't think it's coming. Dude, he might be back next season for crying out loud.
We'll see.
With the way that they run that team, dude, anything is possible. Good God. This is literally the most Jacksonville thing ever. They're either going to end up with Bill Belichick or they're going to end up rocking with Doug Peterson. Both are very much a possibility. And I actually think that it's more feasible that they end up with Doug Peterson again.
That Bill Belichick? Maybe. I don't see.
Yeah,
I don't know if I
think
see.
Bill Belichick wants to go there.
I don't see Bill Belichick going to Jacksonville, but I don't know. Yeah, you never know.
They got Tom Coughlin to go, be head of, I believe, football operations or some big title.
All right, for first place in the NFC West, Los Angeles Rams at Seattle Seahawks.
The Rams. Puka Nacua looked absolutely phenomenal. They force-fed him. We thought they were getting rid of Cooper Kupp. Apparently, he's off the trade block for, honestly, good reason if they really want to make a run at it. I personally think I would have liked to seen them kind of give up, if I'm being honest with you. just because I really would have liked to see Cooper Kupp with the Steelers, who I think legitimately need a wide receiver to make a run. They're right there. Not the sexiest team in the league, but a team that legitimately you add a receiver could change things. I would have loved to seen Cooper Kupp there, but nonetheless, he's rocking with the Rams. They still have faith, and for good reason. That entire division is, jumbled, and it's for the taking. This is going to have a big implication, and I got to rock with Matt Stafford and the Rams.
I'm leaning the Rams way right now. I'm actually, I pulled up the history the last few years between the Seahawks and the Rams do surprisingly well whenever they visit Seattle. So I think I'm with you, rocking with the Rams.
Does Seattle have the same, like we call it the 12th man, it's a loud stadium, but it just doesn't feel the same anymore.
I think, I mean, I don't doubt that it's still a sellout crowd on a weekly basis for the Seahawk fans. But the excitement probably isn't there that was there when they were making the playoffs every year, making conference championships every year, making their Super Bowl runs. I mean, if they were a Super Bowl contender, I bet you it would be as raucous as it normally is, but I bet you it's still one of the most packed stadiums in football.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they had the Beastquake for crying out loud. The noise literally caused a mini earthquake for crying out loud, right? I just don't think it has the same magic anymore. And the Giants going there and the way that they played this season is what made me start thinking, oh man, this ain't what it used to be.
Another potentially first place matchup. We got Detroit Lions at Green Bay Packers. Lions 3.5-point favorites on the road in Green Bay, but we might not be seeing Jordan Love. He's got a groin injury right now. He's questionable. Could be a Malik Willis game, but regardless, Mazz, what are you thinking about this one right now?
I think I got to go with Detroit, even if Jordan Love was playing. But he's been banged up, and even when he's healthy, I mean, we're getting Brett Favre performances, big touchdowns, but also big interceptions. So I just think that Detroit's the more complete team. For all the flack that we've given Jared Goff, he's been exactly what they needed him to be, steady the ship. They're winning games with him not even breaking 100 yards while still throwing for 3 touchdowns. That's impressive of a team. The unit is ridiculous. I know they got some injuries, but again, culture, my friend. Everybody has bought in. I don't know if there's been a team this year that has an organization within the last 2 years that has bought in more than the Detroit Lions, with the exception of the Kansas City Chiefs.
You could definitely make that case considering their track record these last few years. I'm rocking with the Lions too. Offense is just firing on all cylinders right now. Defense is playing good enough. Special teams is just as good. I mean, they're scoring punt return touchdowns. And then the Packers, although they're a very talented team, not on the same level as the Lions right now. Although, if you recall,
I'd like to see this healthy.
I will. If you recall, the Packers were able to pull off that upset last year on Thanksgiving in Detroit. So if there's any team that could take it to the Lions, it could be the Packers. They're just a little banged up right now. I think they maybe I don't know.
An underrated defense, I will say that. We sleep on Green Bay's defense week in and week out, I feel like. But
they have the most turnovers in football right now, or most forced turnovers.
Yeah, so they're a unit as well, but I just got to go with the healthier quarterback, I feel like.
All right, Sunday Night Football. This actually, this game was flexed into Sunday night. It was initially the Jaguars-Eagles game, but now it is Joe Flacco and Sam Darnold. Sunday Night Football, Colts and Vikings. Mazz, I'm leaning with the Vikings on this one. They've lost 2 games in a row just after starting the season 5-0. And I think the Vikings at home, get right game against the Colts. Give me the Vikings.
How is this the flex game?
I don't know.
I understand going off of the Jaguars because you thought they were going to have a much better season. The return of Doug Peterson. I understand why that was in there in the first place. I also understand now why you took it off there. But out of all the games, why not Rams Seattle?
I would have liked that better. Or even Detroit and Green Bay, I think would have been a better game as well.
Sure. I mean, just looking at it, Dolphins, Bills, even, Commanders, Giants. We had options. We chose this. I just don't know what we're doing. But it's got to be the Vikings, right? I mean, taking that tough loss, I still believe in them. I think that they're going to be making a push. the rest of the season. I know that they ended up stumbling against the Rams, but the fact of the matter still remains that they just know how to get it done. They only have 2 losses the entire season. You cannot tell me that the Colts roster even compares to them on either side of the ball. You can't tell me that you can't tell me that you have faith in Joe Flacco to wield them over the way that Sam Darnold's been playing this season. Even in the losses, he looked pretty rough, but they were, again, weren't they not in London, right?
Yep.
Other than that, like, it's not on him. Vikings all day, baby.
Yeah, give me the Vikings. And then the Monday Night Football. I know we both got a soft spot in our hearts for Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers, but a tall order to go to the defending Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs, and get a win. We're rocking with the Chiefs.
I just would like to have a moment of silence for the Buccaneers. It was going so well. Chris Godwin, we wish you the best of luck, buddy. I hope they somehow find a way to still compete. But it ain't happening on Monday night, my friend.
I don't think the season's over for the Bucs. Do you?
I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. I really think that they need to make a move before the trade deadline.
Mike Evans will be back in a few weeks. I know Godwin isn't going to be out for the season, but I still think they got that three-headed beast at running back of Rashad White, Sean Tucker, and Bucky Irving. K. Dotton's a good tight end. Sterling Shepard's out there playing wide receiver for him. I think they'll be okay. They just got to get healthy, and everything will be all right.
You had to hit me with Sterling Shepard. Are you kidding me?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude. They're not Detroit. They're not Minnesota.
No.
They could have been. they were. But now they're slowly dwindling, and I don't have faith, dude. I'm not saying that their season's over, but I don't have confidence in them coming out of the NFC like maybe I've had in the past. You know, and even, let's be honest, even when I had faith in them, it was still like a Cinderella story. I want them to win. I don't even have the full confidence in it. So now, how can I, say that it's going to be better when it's quite literally going to be worse?
See what happens. Mazz, that's the Week 9 slate. We have 3 swing games. Actually, let me just make sure I'm counting that right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 swing games. And potentially even 5 if Drake May plays against the Titans. So
Drake May plays. The Titans are going down, buddy.
We'll see. We will see.
Charlie, we Sports Equinox happened the other night.
Monday night was great. Yeah, I had Monday Night Football, I had the Knicks, and I had the World Series. It was a pretty good night. I didn't really watch any hockey, though. I'll be honest with you.
I was only locked in on one sport and one sport only. That's the World Series, the biggest thing going on. No disrespect to the other leagues, like them. Love the NBA, love the NFL. Not the biggest hockey guy in the world, admittedly. However, we do have a hockey segment today, and you know what? We're going to get to that just a little bit later on, as Charlie, I have a top 10 for you, and I'll reveal it. The most valuable franchises, top 10 most valuable franchise in the NHL. We'll get to that in a second. I want to get to the NBA because my Lakers are actually looking pretty damn good, and I didn't want JJ Redick to succeed, but I'm actually happy that it's going on. I just have not loved the takes over the years. He just sounds a little scornful when he talks about the older players that have accomplished way more than he ever did. But turns out the Lakers just needed some coaching. I'm not saying that they're winning a chip. I'm saying that Anthony Davis finally looks like he's playing up to a legitimate potential that we knew was capable since back in the bubble. Playing some stellar defense, rebounds, blocks, everything. I'm loving it. But let's take a look at the standings right now for the NBA, and we're going to start with the East, as I believe the Cavaliers and Celtics are on top, my friend. Then to round out the top 10, Magic, Heat, Bulls, Hawks, Wizards, Sixers, Knicks, and then the Hornets. With that being said, right, we're just going to go right down these top 10s. Cavaliers 4-0 right now. They drop in, they stay in, they fall in for the next coming weeks.
Cleveland definitely up there in the top 4 teams in the East. They got a great roster. Kenny Atkinson appears to be doing a good job of implementing his own take on that roster. They got Evan Mobley bringing the ball up after defensive rebounds, which is something new that J.B. Bickerstaff didn't do in his his stint as the head coach. Cleveland, I think they'll definitely be one of those teams in the Final Four in the East.
I do think that they fall from the number one. I have to believe that the Celtics, who are second team, will be rising up. I definitely see that trend going that way. Magic right now sitting at 3. Paolo Banchero lighting it up. First 50 burger of the season for any player in the NBA. Sitting at 3-1 right now as the 3rd seed. I think they're staying right there.
I think they'll definitely be top 6 when it's all said and done. I don't know about as high as 3.
Ooh, okay. Miami Heat. They've defied odds before. I do think that the magic has run out, even with Jimmy supposedly being locked in. I want to see them just hit the reset button and trade Jimmy at this point. I want to see Jimmy on a legitimate contender. They are a great organization, which makes them in contention, but they are not a top 3 contender in either of the East or West. I think they got to be falling down.
The roster's old. I mean, besides younger guys like Tyler Hero and Jovic, the roster's too old. I just don't think they have what it takes to make it through an 82-game season and then also keep that energy going into the playoffs.
Just so mad we never got to see Damian Lillard in South Beach with Jimmy Butler. I thought that would have been absolutely awesome. The Bulls, 2-2. There's not much needs to be said. They got to be falling, right?
Yeah, if there's anything that we can take away from Khalil hopping on the pod a few weeks ago, it's that the Bulls will degress here. It's cool to see Lonzo back, but
sure,
they're not sticking around in the playoffs in the East.
Yeah, Hawks also sitting at a 2-2. I don't have faith in that to stay.
Not really. I mean, I could. They'll probably end up a play-in team, but I don't think they'll be in that top 6 conversation.
That moves us to the 76ers, who, congratulations. We bring in guys. We already have a star with an injury history. Paul George has been banged up in years past with the Clippers. I don't think that his injury history is as concerning, though, as especially compared to Embiid. I do think that they will be better. I just don't see this team go into the finals. Yeah,
no, me neither. Definitely a playoff contender, barring that everyone comes back nice and healthy. If Embiid comes back to normal, Paul George comes back to how he was playing, they'll be good. I mean, Maxi's averaging 30 a game right now, keeping them afloat. But, yeah, Sixers, I don't see them as a legitimate title threat.
Which brings us to your Knicks, who are at a 1-2. I know you're not hitting the panic button, I'm sure, but what's not clicking right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be tough for this Knicks team to. I mean, they weren't even really ready to go into the season with the roster that they had prior to the Karl Anthony Towns trade, and now after playing with Julius Randle for the last 3-4 years, after playing with Dante DiVincenzo for the last year, I think they're just figuring things out with Mikal Bridges and Cat and some other of the new bench pieces they brought on. I'm not worried about the Knicks. They'll be all right. Just gotta get some more games under their belt to figure out, the pecking order in terms of who's taking shots when, and I think they'll be all right. The defense is going to be good. Thibodeau will make sure of that. Not worried about the Knicks whatsoever.
Our 10th spot being the Charlotte Hornets, which is good for them because I know down at 14 the Bucks are going to be rising at some point. There's just 2 dogs who are one of them entering towards the end of the career, one in the prime. I think the Bucks have to be rising up. Charlotte, what do they have? LaMelo Ball?
I mean, give credit where credit's due. LaMelo Ball is having a fantastic start to the season, which he normally does. When he plays, LaMelo Ball is one of the best players in the NBA. It's just a matter of him being able to stay healthy or not. I'm also a huge fan of who was the 3rd overall pick last year? Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller. Huge fan of Brandon Miller. I think the 2 of them are going to be a great combination for a long time in Charlotte. I don't know if this is the year where they really start to click and combine, but if they can both stay healthy the whole season, play-in team for Charlotte.
I think you're right for that. Give me 1 second because the dog's barking. Let's take a quick break.
Yeah, sure. All right, Mazz, that was the Eastern Conference. So what about the West?
I'll tell you right now. Thunder on top at 3-0. I have no reason to believe that that's going anywhere. Young, hungry squad, dude. They got absolute ballers over there, and it's just we see them build. I did not think that it was gonna strike gold this fast, but they found a way. They not only outpace teams, just outperform them. SGA's the dude. I actually think that that number 1 spot is probably going to hold throughout the whole season.
Yeah,
Suns,
I would agree with that sentiment for sure. Especially for OKC, the Alex Caruso trade was the best move they could have made because they trimmed off some of the fat with Josh Giddey, the guys they didn't need who weren't contributing to playoff basketball, and they brought in an All NBA defender, 3-point specialist. It's perfect. OKC is probably the best constructed roster in basketball right now.
I just love seeing Caruso because he literally just looks like Elmer Fudd and Michael Jordan in Space Jam every time he's out there.
That's true.
The Suns at a 3-1 actually beat the Lakers. I believe that they've played a couple of times already, if I'm not mistaken.
The
It's either
Lakers?
Yeah.
I know they opened the season against the Clippers. I'm not sure if they've played the Lakers twice in 4 games. That'd be kind of wild, but I think Phoenix will probably stick around in those top 6 seeds. Definitely be not a play-in team, but a playoff team for sure.
Yeah. They already played them twice,
That's so weird.
and they've split the games. Very interesting. It is nice to see Bradley Beal healthy. I want to have a bigger hope for this team than I do, but I still don't think that they're staying top 3.
I don't think they'll be top 3. I think they'll be top 6.
Sure.
Top 3, I don't know.
Yeah. Gonna be dropping a bit. Speaking of dropping a bit, I also think the Warriors at 3-1. I think Steph is going to will them into being in playoffs. I do not think he's going to will them into top 4.
Yeah, Steph's hurt right now. Actually, he's been ruled out for the next 2 weeks with I think it was some sort of leg injury. I don't see the Warriors making too much noise in the Western Conference. Probably a play-in team just because of Steph Curry, but they're probably not sticking around in the top 6.
Wouldn't be surprised if they end up making a big move at some point.
Maybe.
You know, Mavericks sitting at 5. You can put that up to probably 2 for me, depending on the Nuggets who are sitting at 10. We'll get to them, but the Mavs still, they just gotta get going. I feel like they didn't even start off slow. I mean, they're 3-1, but
Yeah.
like we've known them to start slow because of Luka, and then just start climbing up. But it looks like Luka's actually having a better start than maybe ever. I'm sure that he's energized after being so close to glory. But nonetheless, we'll see how they go. Definitely going to be trending up. Trending down for me, the Clippers at 6.
Yeah, we have no idea what's going on with Kawhi right now.
Do we ever?
No, we don't. And the rest of the roster is just a collection of really solid role players. But without a Kawhi Leonard to lead the way the entire season, I could see them dropping into the play-in tournament. I do like Ty Lue's a great basketball coach. I think he'll be able to get the most out of the roster. I just don't think they have enough talent to hang with all the big guys in the West.
They will see. James Harden should be, providing that he can make, 32, 34 threes, will become second all-time on the list and surpass Ray Allen. So that's something to look forward to, I guess. But I will say, though, the whole rebranding that is going on with the Clippers.
The new stadium, sick.
A new stadium is, it's beautiful. The new logo is kind of dope. The new color scheme, I'm liking. I wish that was my owner. I want somebody that passionate to own my team. I watched them the other night, and dude, it was just like small plays, and he's just loving every part of it. I mean, I can't remember the last time I've seen an owner this passionate about their own team. Shout out Ballmer.
Shout out Steve Ballmer.
Yeah, but other than that, they just spent the money in the wrong ways. Hopefully he can get some stars for him, but I don't like the Clippers. So, little brother team, if they stay like this, I'll be fine with it. Give them the love where they deserve, and hopefully they go nowhere else. Rockets, I actually see this team at 7. Give me a stay put on this one.
Yep.
I think that they're going to be decent. I love Ime Udoka as a coach. Really wish the Lakers would have took a bigger look at him, to be honest. I know that they had the scandal up in Boston, but like we said, it was 2 consenting adults. I don't know if that even should have been the firing in the first place. I know that there was, whether or not it was unethical, sure, but we've seen guys keep jobs over way worse situations than that, So, but yeah, I think the Rockets, young, hungry. I think I'm leaving them right at 7.
Sounds about right. And they got some talent as well. Jalen Green's an up-and-coming guy. Sengun, up-and-comer. And then they got some vets. They got Van Fleet and Dylan Brooks, the one Thompson, who I can never remember which one is which and who's on Detroit and who's on Houston. Amen and Asar, don't know which is which. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, Houston, I could see them sticking around to playing.
That brings us to the Timberwolves, who I want to like this team. I hope Julius Randle balls.
Julius Randle's been playing so good for them.
Yeah, and I hope he can continue to do it. I want to see them right back to the same level that they were. If they win a championship, how crazy would that be?
It would be pretty crazy. I mean, they definitely showed the capability to be one of those top teams in the NBA. They made it to the conference finals last year, and I really do think they got better with the Cat trade. They did. They cut off some extra fat. They brought in an all-star and an all-NBA shooter. I miss Julius. I miss him.
Really,
dude. That's not a surprise. I didn't like the trade when it happened. I really wish the Knicks just stood pat. Had stuck it out with Jericho Sims and Ariel Hukporta, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, as their centers until Mitchell Robinson came back. I miss DiVincenzo. I miss Julius. I think this might have been all right. No, I'm done. It's too early to say.
So that's the thing, though, too. Like, I've always been an advocate of Julius Randle since being with the Pelicans because he did nothing for my Lakers, but he learned how to just add to his game with the Pelicans. He learned how to be a star in New York. It's whether or not he stays healthy. I hope he stays healthy at this point, but nonetheless, I mean, I think they're going to be trending upward. I think they've learned that Ant Edwards is the star. It was never Cat. This is the guy to go in on. I love the move and the decision to put pieces around him that could also ball. I don't think the Timberwolves are going to be taking a step back this season. I think they're trending up for sure. I actually think that you've seen them top 5.
Yeah, for sure. If not top 3.
A team that I'm not so sure about, they're at 9th. I feel like they're always somewhere in this 10-7 range. It's the Pelicans. If this isn't the year, they need to make changes.
Yeah,
and I don't think it's the year.
Zion Williamson's already hurt. I don't think he played the first few games. DeJounte Murray, who was their shining offseason acquisition, broke his hand. So yeah, the Pelicans, I feel like they're just always treading water. You know what I mean? And I think it might be time to move off the Zion Williamson experiment if this season really does go that bad.
Dude, honestly, I feel like their biggest trade asset isn't even Zion. I feel like it's Brandon Ingram, and dare I say, like, you might need to get both of them out of town.
Yeah.
You know, dude, it's a team I want to see healthy. I want to see DeJounte Murray with that. I feel like they could do something. However, did not see the broken hand from him. There's always a crapshoot on what it's going to be with Zion. And Ingram, very high highs and
low
comes
lows.
back to mediocrity, you know, so low lows as well. I have no clue what to think of them, but if I had to be a gambling man, they're staying right at 9 or dropping. They're not going up for me. Speaking of going up, the Denver Nuggets, they're going to the moon. To the moon.
To the moon? I don't know about to the moon.
Yeah. They're finishing top 3. All right, they're going to the moon.
Top 5 for sure. I'll give them that instead of a top 6. But something about them, they're just not the same as they have been in these last few years. It's just a little different. No KCP. They swapped him out with Russell Westbrook essentially. I don't know. I'll keep my eye on the Nuggets. I think Jamal Murray is starting to, believe it or not, Jamal Murray kind of feels like he's descending right now. He wasn't an ascending all-star kind of caliber player, even though he's never made an all-star game. But I think those knee injuries are starting to catch up to him a little bit. He's starting to lose some explosiveness. I think the Jokic's workload's going to be a little bit bigger than it normally is this season going forward.
Every time I bet against Jokic, he just finds a way to just shut me up. So I'm just gonna have the reverse effect and say that they're gonna do awesome. And if it doesn't go that way, like, it is what it is. They put in good work over there.
Yeah.
I don't like them for the way that they talk smack to my Lakers, so, screw them. But nonetheless, to say that they're not trending up would just be wrong.
Yeah.
But especially with Jokic, dude, they might be coming out of the West again. You never know with them. Damn it. Just greatness. All right, that leaves us with the Grizzlies, Kings, Spurs, Blazers, and Jazz. And the only one that I am confident in trending completely upwards, the Kings have a shot. I like the Grizzlies. I will always like the Grizzlies. My favorite player in the game to watch is Ja Morant. And I think that they're going to be hitting around that, 5 to 7 zone.
I'm with you. Ja's definitely shaking off some rust because, he basically only played, 10, 15 games last year between the suspension and his season-ending shoulder injury. I think they'll be all right. I think Ja's just going to have to get reacclimated to the speed of the NBA because he has missed a lot of basketball recently.
So we'll see what happens with it. Of course, DeMar DeRozan with the Kings. I'm still very interested to see how that works out. They got De'Aaron Fox. They got Sabonis. Adding a scoring vet. I don't know. They had Harrison Barnes. I feel like this is a step up from that. But is it a championship move? No. Not for me.
Yeah, it's not definitely a step up. But it's still just kind of like meh.
Meh.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Charlie, we'll see what happens with the NBA season just getting underway, of course. So hard to pay attention to it when you have the World Series happening right now. The NFL getting closer to playoffs with it. This is always like the hardest part for me to be an NBA fan. I'm always locked in night one, and then it kind of dies out for me just a little bit. But then, of course, once we get towards the end, to the middle of the season, I'd say about a couple weeks before All-Star break is when I start really locking in. So I can't wait for that to come around because the Yankees are hanging on by a thread. The Cowboys are giving me no damn hope. I have to have faith in the Lakers for my sports fandom right now because nothing else is working. Which brings us to... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the same thing, but it's all good. Whatever, man. I'm used to it. It's all good.
You good? So, Charlie, I saw a list now. I just wanted to... the list was very interesting. It was for the most expensive franchises. We're not really hockey guys, but I think this would be a little fun to end us off with a top 10 list. And I'm curious to see if you're able to get it. Because when I saw the list, I just went, that does make sense. But that's not who I would have guessed. Not only sitting on top, but just being the top 10 to begin with. So I'm going to pull up this NHL most valuable franchise list, and let's see if you can give it to me. Who do you think is sitting at this 10 spot at $1.55 billion?
Can we go top to bottom?
Yeah, we're going top to bottom.
You want to... number one.
You want to start with number one?
Yeah.
Sure, at $2.8 billion, the most valuable franchise in the NHL.
Got to be New York Rangers.
It is not. And I'll tell you right now, they just missed out. They are second at 2.65. Here's one for you.
I was close.
You were close, and I'll give it to you. It's not a bad pick. It's honestly probably what I would have picked. But the number one isn't even in the country.
Canadian team?
It is a Canadian team. I believe we have 4 of them now. No, 5. I forgot about Calgary. So between the Montreal Canadiens, the Vancouver Canucks, the Calgary Flames, the Winnipeg Jets, and the Toronto Maple Leafs, who's number one?
I'll go with Toronto, the capital of Canada.
You know what? Why wouldn't you? Because they are supposedly the most valuable franchise at 2.8.
Let's go.
Number 3. We're back with our Canadian teams. Who do you got?
Can I ask you a quick question? Are all of the Canadian teams in this top 10?
I'm an idiot. There's a 6th Canadian team that we forgot about. And if you could figure out who that is, that's our 7th spot real quick.
Number 3 after the Maple Leafs and the Rangers. I'll go with... I've given to you in one of the Canadian teams that I gave you. They're within the ones that I mentioned. I'll go the Montreal Canadiens.
And you would be correct, my friend.
I'm going off like the biggest Canadian cities, so it's working.
So number 4, we're back in the States. Who do you got? 2.2 billion, just 2 billion straight up.
2 bill.
I wouldn't think of this city as a hockey city.
Would it be Vegas?
Close.
No.
Nope. Vegas is not in the top 10.
No.
Nope.
Interesting. I thought maybe Vegas would be like a hot spot right now because
I'd be
it's
with
up
you.
and coming sports city with all the teams that are coming. The Los Angeles Kings.
It is the Kings. Absolutely.
Yo, I'm actually all right. I'm kind of
Yeah,
getting.
you're doing
this.
pretty good. You're pretty good.
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
worried. You were worried.
I was very concerned.
Yeah, you're doing good. Number 5. I think of hockey when I think of this place. It might not be number 1, but you definitely have to respect it.
Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh, so close. They're actually right below at 6. I like the guess,
Yeah.
but at 5, it is not the Chicago Blackhawks. But it is a great sports city.
Pittsburgh Penguins.
Oh, dude, come on. Come on.
What?
No, it's not them.
The New Jersey Devils.
It is not the New Jersey Devils. We are not a great sports city.
They're not.
Franchises moved out of here more recently than they've came in. Who is the great... Charlie, you got 2 of them left to guess between. Who is a great sports city?
Is it the Boston Bruins?
It is the Boston Bruins,
I
buddy.
should have known that. Pittsburgh Penguins. What the fuck am I thinking?
I thought you were going to hit me with the Philadelphia Flyers, which wouldn't have been a horrible guess for sure. But yeah, it is the Boston Bruins.
I
So,
guess
we
that
gave you
makes
6.
sense. Boston is a very large sports city right now. Over the past 20
We gave you
years.
6 at Chicago.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. I mean, they're always gonna be up there, just in terms of fandom. Number 7, that one Canadian team that I didn't give you before. Can you guess who it is?
Vancouver Canucks.
No, I gave you the Vancouver Canucks, my
Oh,
friend.
damn. Sorry, I forgot.
No, that's all right. I'll tell you what. A great player played on the Los Angeles Kings and the New York Rangers later on in his career. Was best known for playing with this Canadian team. Maybe the best to ever do it. No, who am I kidding? It's the best to ever do it.
Talk about
The
Gretzky.
We're talking about Gretzky. Do you know the team that Gretzky became famous on?
It's a Canadian team.
It's a Canadian team. The hockey community is going to crucify
Dude,
us. By the way.
I don't know hockey. I'm not a hockey
No,
guy.
I know. I'm with you. I'm with you. But they're going to crucify us right now if you don't get this.
Edmonton Oilers.
It is the Edmonton Oilers. Way to go, Charlito.
Dude, that was a straight guess. I was like, who played in the Stanley Cup last year?
We are never getting jobs with the NHL. That's safe to say. It's just
Never.
not happening. Number 8. Back to sports cities.
Dallas Stars.
Oh. Good guess.
Is it the? Is it New York Islanders? Another New York team?
It is not the New York Islanders. That's a hell of a guess, though. Some people say that this is the best mascot in hockey. Gave us a famous dance.
St. Louis Blues?
Buddy. They gave us the gritty. It's the Flyers. Come on.
The gritty came from the Flyers?
Yeah.
Is it really?
First time I ever saw it was that big orange furball doing it.
Oh shit!
I'm pretty sure his name is Gritty. If I'm not, it's his name, not
it
Gritty.
might be, but I thought it was an LSU thing.
Interesting. We'll fact check me on that one. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm right. We'll find out. That brings us to number 9. Another great sports city that is never thought of for sports. I feel like.
A great sports city that's never thought of for sports.
Yeah. Should I say great sports city? they should be bigger as a sports city, in my personal opinion, right? But they're not thought of for sports first.
And it's not the Devils, right? The Devils are not in this top 10?
It's not the Devils. Nope. No, they're actually just made it outside at 11.
Colorado Avalanche.
No, my friend. This place is known for politics.
Oh, the Washington Capitals?
It is the Washington Capitals at 9 with 1.6 billion. And to round us out, the top 10, who do you think is the 10th most valuable franchise in all the land?
U.S.
Think
or
of
Canada?
It is U.S., I'll give you that. Think of city hubs.
City hubs.
Yep. Giant city. No small market here, obviously.
And it's not Dallas?
It's not Dallas. You might have said them before. They have a dragon for a mascot.
The Seattle Kraken?
That's a hell of a guess because I'm pretty sure they have a sea troll, which I just learned. I think his name is Bowie. Which is kind of creative.
What do they have? They have a dragon as their
They
mascot?
have a dragon as their mascot. Who do you think would have a dragon for a mascot?
Nashville Predators?
No. No, it actually makes no sense. I feel like for the mascot, it's just cool that they have it. Sparky the Dragon is his name.
Sparky the Dragon? Minnesota Wild.
Not the Minnesota Wild.
Winnipeg Jets?
It's in the U.S., buddy. Final guess here.
Carolina Hurricanes.
It is not the Carolina Hurricanes. I said major city hub. I said U.S. I said you said them before. That leaves us with one team and one team only. The New York Islanders.
Wait, really? Their mascot is Sparky the Dragon?
Sparky the Dragon. I don't know why it's a dragon. I will be looking into this. But, yeah. Sparky the Dragon. And, that's what he looks like.
Shout out Sparky the Dragon.
You an Islanders guy?
I always said I was just because I was trying to stick with the whole Long Island sports team things with the Jets, the Mets, and the Islanders. But my sister's boyfriend is a huge Devils fan. He's been trying to get me more into hockey. And, I mean, the Devils are New Jersey's only sports team. So I think I'm going to start rocking with the Devils more.
I'm with you. I'm definitely with you. Last thing I want to touch on. I did see something interesting. Mark Cuban has said on Shaq's podcast that he'd like to get him, Shaq, and LeBron in on the expansion franchise in Vegas. Is there any is that a good like a brand new franchise? Is that a good enough reason to leave a team for you? To be a part of a brand new history?
You know, I would say yeah. Because like it's not like you're bandwagoning and you're hopping onto a team that's like had success recently or anything like that. You're staking your belief in a team that has never even played a game. You know what I mean? So I would say if there's any leeway for a lifelong fan to switch teams, it would be for an expansion franchise.
Okay, I like the take. I think I tend to agree with it. I don't think I'll be leaving the Lakers anytime soon. But if there had to be a team, if they did cool enough branding, who knows?
I know that they've been talking for a while about a new NBA team in Vegas. I think eventually when the time comes, they'll add one in Seattle and in Vegas, and then bring one back to Seattle, add one in Vegas, and then they'll probably kick the Grizzlies over to the Eastern Conference. You know what I mean?
I think it would have to be the Grizzlies, the Pelicans, or the Timberwolves. I believe are the only viable options. Just looking geographically on that line, I know the Timberwolves are a little more west than the other two, but just with the teams that are already in the East up there with Detroit, Milwaukee, Chicago, the Pacers, it would just make sense for that.
Tennessee is the most far east of all those states, so I think it would make the most sense for the Grizzlies to come over to the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate it. The math has messed me up so much as to why you add two and only need to swap over one, but it makes sense after I've contemplated it so long because we know that I struggle with math. But however, Recent comments by Adam Silver. They expect those teams to be up, running, and playing by the year 2028.
Reasonable. Very reasonable.
I hope we see it. We've been talking about it for a long time. We'll see what happens. We apologize to the NHL community. That was fun as hell, though. We're probably going to be hitting more top 10s lists, and one of us just guessing around, shooting from the hip. We'll see what happens. But, buddy, another week on the journey, and we get better and we move on.
Onwards and upwards, Mazz. Episode Omaha in the books.